What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk to you guys about something that I think we are starting to see and we're really figuring this out in terms of where Classic is going, what people want. I also want to apologize. My other microphone is not hooked up currently, so I'm using a boom arm right now. It might not sound as good as my normal videos, but we got to make this work for this video. I'm kind of redoing a lot of my setup right now. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys about the fact that if you log in to Cataclysm currently, or Season of Discovery, or Classic Era, you're going to see no players running around in those starting zones. The world is almost completely empty, and that is an issue. But I'm not going to say that Classic is dying or dooming it like everyone else is doing. I really want to explain why I think this is. If you log into Anniversary and you make a character, it's not as poppin' as it was when it first came out, but there are definitely people out in the world, right? Just not as many as when the servers first launched. And I was looking at the numbers this morning, and I kind of think I understand why this is, right? So let me share my screen with you guys. Okay, so you guys could probably see my screen, right? Right here we have Anniversary Classic. Currently 93,000 raid logs. Then we go over to Season of Discovery, currently 71,000 raid logs. We go over to Classic Era, we have just about 12,000 raid logs. And then we go over to Cataclysm, and we have about 103,000 raid logs. Now, if we add these all up, let's bring the calculator over, we have 279,000 raid logs across all of Classic. And this is not bad by any means. It's not a dead game, but the issue lies within the fact that all of these different versions of Classic are separated, right? There's not 279,000 people playing Classic. There is, 70,000 people playing this version of Classic, 100,000 playing this version of Classic, 11,000 playing this version of Classic. And I think that is the issue. I think we're too spread out, because let me show you something else, right? Let's move our calculator out of the way, and let's go right back to Season of Discovery. Let's go to the peak of Phase 1 Season of Discovery, right? This is January of 2024. We have 496,000 raid logs, right? Now, these could be people running 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Yes, I know that. But 496,000 raid logs. And yes, it could be people running multiple characters, but that goes the same for every one of these other versions of the calculator showing the population on these realms of raid logs, right? So it is all relative. It all makes sense. 496,000, right? A little less than double the number of the entire amount of raid logs across all of Classic currently. That to me indicates an issue. That indicates to me that the player base is way too split. We have way too many versions of Classic. Nobody knows what the best version is. The best version to you is different than the best version for me, and vice versa. Everyone has their version of Classic they love the most, and nobody is going to make all of these people agree, which brings me to my point. If Blizzard made something that sticks as well as Phase 1 Season of Discovery did, what do we have? Everyone playing that version of Classic. One version of Classic that, can accommodate everybody, that everyone has something to do in. The PvPers have something to do. The PvEers have something to do. The, Discovery enthusiasts had something to do. We need to condense this at this point. We have Classic Era, which is 2019 Classic in that last form. We have Cataclysm, which is moving into MOP, and a lot of people are like, I'll play MOP. A lot of people are like, nope, fuck pandas, I'm not playing MOP. Then we have Anniversary Classic. Then we have Season of Discovery. Then we have Hardcore. Then we have Anniversary Hardcore. We're over 5 versions of Classic to play right now. It's confusing to new people who want to come in. And the problem is it's splitting the player base up way too much. It's creating too many options. And when there's too many options, none of them are the best option, right? So imagine a world in which we got rid of the progressive Classic, like MOP was the last one. We got rid of seasonal WoW, so now we got rid of Cataclysm or MOP, Season of Discovery. We got rid of Anniversary, and it just became Classic Era, when they did TBC and Wrath, and we just had Era servers for those. And then we condensed Hardcore into one thing. Now we're down to like 4 versions of Classic. And imagine if we got a Classic Plus or a future Classic or a WoW 2, whatever it is that is coming next for Classic. and they hit the nail on the head as big as they did with Season of Discovery Phase 1, it would be a knockout. You know, yeah, people would have things to complain about. People would have things to love about it. That'll always be a thing. But I think the issue lies within the fact that there are so many versions of Classic right now that it's almost created a Classic civil war, where like the Classic player base is constantly fighting with each other about saying, you know, my version is the best version of Classic. Your version is not the best version of Classic. Your version sucks because it has pandas. Your version sucks because it's level 60 and there's no XP boost and it takes, you know, 100 days to get any progress on your character. There is an issue going on, and I think maybe behind the scenes Blizzard is aware of this and they are working on a solution. I think the real thing is that we need some confirmation. We need to know what's going on. We need to know the plan, right? We've gotten some information over the last few months, which is great. But I have never seen a bigger divide in the Classic player base than I do right now. Most of the people playing Anniversary are in the TBC waiting room, myself included, just waiting for TBC. Was it the right call to give us a vanilla Anniversary when we already have Classic Era? I'm not sure. Maybe we should have just got a fresh TBC with confirmation that we will get a TBC Era server at the end of that. It'll move into Wrath, and then we'll get a Wrath Era server, and then we have that trilogy as Era servers with a fresh recycle every 3 years. It makes sense. And then we go forward with the Classic Plus. We can the whole MOP, Warlords of Draenor, progressive Classic thing. We make hardcore condensed down into one server. We need to condense this stuff, right? And I'm not a developer. I know Blizzard may know what they're doing. They may not. But, you know, I'm putting my faith in them to figure this out. But I'm just pointing out an issue here. That across all of Classic, every single version of Classic, 279,000 raid logs doesn't even remotely add up to what we had all playing Season of Discovery in Phase 1. Okay? So really, it's simple. All that needs to happen is they need to mimic Season of Discovery Phase 1 and turn it into a permanent, not seasonal version of Classic. Whatever their vision, their goal is with Season of Discovery Phase 1 was working. People loved it. People wanted to play it. I mean, even to this day, Season of Discovery has fallen off so far, right? It's like down, you know, past a fifth of what it was in Phase 1. That's okay. It's still a very alive version of the game. Every one of these versions is pretty alive. And Season of Discovery has been one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in WoW. I think it had a lot of problems. It still does. But the idea behind it, especially in the beginning, was brilliant. And if Blizzard can recapture that, I think we could fix this issue and kind of put an end to this civil war of everyone just constantly fighting about which version is better. This version sucks. Your version sucks. My version's better. That version's pay to win. This version's not. It's like, dude, it's becoming a lot to deal with, especially as a content creator. Like the comments that I get on some of my videos, I'm like, in doing this, on YouTube, you have to have thick skin and not let people get under your skin. But some of the comments I get are like ruthless. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put anyone out there. I'm not gonna blow up anyone's spot. But like, you got to understand the position I'm in here. I'm dealing with a community that was once extremely united, now divided across 7 versions of the game, all berating me about which version is their favorite or they're the best or what I want to play is the wrong one. Like, there's no right or wrong here. Whatever, we're all here to have fun, right? We're all paying our sub and having access to all these versions of the game. So there's no right or wrong. You are entitled to your opinion, yes. But I think that there's a bigger issue at play here, and the divisiveness that comes from having all of these versions of Classic it's almost making the community kind of implode on itself. And I don't want to see that. I love this game. I want to see Classic thrive. And I think we can fix it if we condensed everything down into a real version of Classic that's new, that's moving forward. Get rid of all of this, the slop of like the extra servers here, extra servers there. Give us the trilogy era, give us hardcore, and make a new Classic that's, mimicking Season of Discovery Phase 1. I think it would resolve so many of these issues. But I just wanted to do a little rant today because I was thinking about this and I was like, man, I put out one video saying why I was like kind of excited to play MOP. Even though I haven't really been, but over the last month or two, Season of Discovery is kind of at its end. I'm waiting for TBC on Anniversary. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of excited to play MOP. I never raided back then. I only PvP'd, so I'll dive in. If I play for 3 weeks or a month and I don't find it fun, that's okay. It's part of my sub, right? We're not paying any extra for this stuff. And I got I mean, a lot of nice people in the comments that are excited for MOP, but the people who are not excited for MOP, wow, did I get reamed out in those comments, dude. They just shit on my life because I was like excited to play MOP. And it really made me start thinking like, dude, this community is way too divided. We need to get back to being united and all just happy, man. Like, we're all here because we love classic WoW, right? Like, why do we have to put down other people's versions of the game that they want to play? I don't have a single version of this game that is my absolute favorite, aside from Season of Discovery, and that'll be controversial. I think Season of Discovery was the best thing that ever happened to Classic, and I've been loving it the entire time, except for recently with the Scarlet Enclave stuff and the weird tuning and all that. But for the most part, Season of Discovery was great. And yeah, that's my rant for today. And I want to know what you guys think. Drop some comments. Everyone who agrees with me, doesn't agree with me, I don't care. I want to hear what you have to say because I want to start a good discussion on this. And I'm really curious. But subscribe to the channel. Jump over to my Twitch, twitch.tv/hammerdance. I stream Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I'm sorry for using the second microphone. My other one's not hooked up currently. I hope this sounded okay, but I needed to get this rant out. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.